I am going to just quickly come on here to say that this is part 2 to a 2-part series. I hope that you watched part 1 first, because I went ahead and filled in a huge amount of information that I left out of an email that I sent to Dr. Morse, and I am going to include the video clip from Dr. Morse going over just different health issues that I experienced as a little one, in my teens, in my early adulthood, and to where I am today as a 40-year young woman, a living soul in this body. And so that is what I wanted to come on to say. I was very excited when Dr. Morse responded to my email, and I hope that it's helpful to lots of people. I tried to just cram in as much information as possible, but I did leave out some important information, and I also wanted to just respond to some of the things that Dr. Morse brought up. He had questions about whether I had postpartum depression, and there were some different things like that. But I think that going all the way back and making sure that I include, like having warts all over my hands and some other issues that I ran into as a gymnast, might help others who are experiencing some of the same types of health conditions and symptoms from our bodies screaming out saying, there is a problem, we need to do something about this, and not knowing where to turn. And really, we got to look within is what it comes down to. And I also made a correction in part 1 when Dr. Morse misread my email about me being, he thought it said that I was steeped in like indoctrination of religions and academia, and I actually had said that I used to be. And this ripping has been painful and hard, but it has taken care of all of that. I don't judge others for where you're at. I, for myself, just see this as a spiritual journey. It's a walk, and I have to take it every day. Each one of us has to, and we're all in different places in this awakening. So that is what I wanted to say about that, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will leave links to the video if you wanted to watch the entire video of Dr. Morse, and go to his channel. You can check him out. I will leave a link in the description box, and some other resources that I have found helpful for me in my growth journey. So namaste to you, and thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel, or to someone else who is helping you to rise above what is going on in the world, to take your power back, and to stand in the you, in the I am, in who you are. And it's been hidden from us. So I hope that you have a blessed day.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, it's almost afternoon. You're not trying to treat a problem. You're trying to eliminate the cause of the problem. All right. Yeah, those letters yesterday were pretty bad. And I've got a whole bunch of them right here. Oh, this is a spiritual wave rider. I like that. You can ride the waves of creation, but then you can wake up to who the wave rider is. It's one thing to ride the waves, to travel out of body. It's another thing to know who the out of body traveler is. Yeah. Thank you for being you and for sharing your wisdom with all of us. Love you, man. Love you, love you, love you. I thought at one time I was pretty healthy. Ooh, as a gymnast. Ooh. Yeah, I was watching that on the news last night. I can't remember her name. The mother years ago was a gymnast, and now her daughter is. Boy, to jump up in the air and to do what, triples and stuff like that? What? That's amazing. Growing up, etc. But through the years I found out that this was so far from the truth. You know, and that's the thing. Sometimes a person looks real pretty on the outside and not so much on the inside, you know what I mean? I am 40 years young. I like this lady already, with 5 kids. Wow, is this a lady, I think? I don't know, I'm assuming it is, but maybe not. 5 kids? Well, right there's your problem. I have been ripped, as you referred to it in some of your spiritual videos. Yeah, well, if you want to know God, you know, that's what it asked me. It yanked me out of my body one night. I was just trying to have a simple out-of-body experience, relaxing. This hand grabbed me, ripped me, literally out of my body, and threw me up like in the middle of the heavens. And I'm just like trying to get some semblance of awareness now. Something that powerful, pretty powerful. And then it says, so you want to know God, huh? And the next thing I know, all my past lives, all the pictures started going. And the next thing I know, it dropped me. The next thing I know, I hit the bed so hard, like that, my body flew out of the bed, and I was on the floor. And all I could think of was, yes, I do. And from then on, a little bit of ripping. You can call it the dark night of the soul if you wish, but I've said this to you many times, hang on to something in the material worlds and it'll be ripped from you if you want to know the ultimate. If you want to know the ultimate, then you can't exist anymore as the small self. It's still there, but you can't identify with that because you want to identify with the infinite. That is total freedom. That means you can't hold on to nothing, honey. Nothing. Not even yourself. And that brings a whole bunch of different situations to you because try not caring for anything. But the divine love comes in for everything. It's hard to describe that. This ripping pang of karma, yeah, has been what has made me really dig deep to question everything. Yeah, absolutely. Creation is the drama, the dharma. Creation is simply the actors playing on the stage of duality. That's all it is. We are simply here playing with a vehicle in the worlds of duality. We can call it in chemistry base and alkaline. We can call it positive and negative. We can call it yin and yang, female and male. Who cares what you call it? Life bounces between these two poles. It's called magnetism. And so that's what moves life. That's what creates activity. At one level, it's pure chemistry and physics. At another level, it's thought. At another level, it's emotions. That's the driving force of it all. So it's interesting. And all these levels you've got to give up. Because you want a level of awareness, which is beyond thought, which is beyond emotions, which is beyond vehicles. Awareness has no form to it. So you can't identify with form. Oh, here comes two guys that really need some help. Ooh. You see them coming in out here, boy, you can tell these guys need some help, brother. So it made me really dig deep into question. Yeah, and matter of fact, don't question. Don't even ask why. Because that very question is mental. Doesn't matter anymore. It is always going to be what it's going to be. Going to be what it's going to be. Absolutely. And since it hasn't killed me, there, see, I'm not going to kill you. I've chose to allow it to make me stronger. Is this a woman or a man? Sheer bear? Looks like woman's eyes. Eyelashes, though. Well, don't matter one way or another. You know, that's what life's about, to make you stronger, to make you become more awake and become the creative dreamer yourself. There's all levels of fun that you can have once you wake up more and more and more. And you're free from that. You can be free from your movie, but still have the movie go on. Long story short, I lost pretty much everyone and thing that I once held dear. And no, I am working on me. Yep, that's the way it is. I lost all my friends too, and I lived as a hermit in the woods. You know, you're the doorway. Christ said it, Buddha said it, all the spiritual giants said it. You are the living truth, but not physically, not mentally, not emotionally. These are tools that you use to play and have fun with, or not. But that isn't the you. That isn't the consciousness of the awareness behind the tools. And to find that, you have to let the tools go. Sometimes it's called Dark Night of the Soul, or what is it, the viewer on the threshold, or whatever, the great divide between thought and awareness. Raising my consciousness and standing in my sovereignty, as I don't want to play around anymore. A lot of you are here at that point. That's why we connect with each other so much, because I'm here to help you over. Let go. Get over on the conscious awareness side. Have the bodies, play with the bodies, all right, get them healthy so you're not suffering, but wake up, and you will be free from creation, and then you can decide what you want to do. But this is just a good example of some of the ripping. If you can let go, you don't always have to lose. In other words, if you don't care whether someone runs over your car, then you don't have to lose it. If you don't care anymore, then they don't have to rip it from you. Hard not to care without getting a little ripped. That's the nature of the beast. We own. We want to own. Really? You don't own nothing, honey. You come in here, you play, and then you're out. Nothing bringing in and nothing taken out. Oh, I think Sai Baba could manifest something astrally, they claim, but I was sickly as a child, had a slight speech impediment in kindergarten, first grade. I was molested in third and fourth grade. Took lots of antibiotics for diagnosis of bronchitis. These guys, you know what, these guys, they're part of those negative forces that set us all up for negative experiences, aren't they? Mono, yeah, well, right there you knew you had kidney and adrenals right there. There's the adrenals right there in mono. You know your lymphatic system was a mess. Matter of fact, neurologically you had some problems there, probably from the adrenals and kidneys. Enlarged liver and spleen. I was in bed fourth grade. Wow, boy, you really had lymphatic problems back then. But you were a gymnast. That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, right then, enlargement, hypertrophy, enlargement. What makes things enlarge? Acids, not alkalis. Those are your electrolytes. Acids, acidosis, creates edema or agglomulation. Either way you want to look at it, creates swelling and enlargements, hypertrophies. Whether it's the prostate, the ovaries, the liver, the spleen, the heart, does it matter? No. Brain. Every tissue in the body is prone to the same thing. It's part of the inflammatory response. To what? Acids. Only two sides of chemistry. Experience a weak bladder. Not fun as a gymnast, I bet. But right there shows you that your urinary tract right there, bladder, and you can move right on up to the kidneys. There's where the problems were that created all the other problems. So you got to go to the cause. And the cause is going to always be faulty elimination. What you don't eliminate, you accumulate. It's just one of my old sayings. What you don't eliminate, you accumulate. Make sure you want to accumulate acid sewage in the body. because if you don't filter in the kidneys, you're going to accumulate. Medical doctors, get with it. Quit hurting people over the ignorance of that. It's simple sewage 101. What you put down the sewer pipes needs to come out the sewer pipes to the septic tanks. What's the septic tanks in the body? Lymph nodes. Hello. You can cut out a septic tank. Yeah. And how many houses are going to break down because of that stupidity? Yep. Lipedema at first, and then the breakdown of the cell second. Ooh, constipation, lots of fear that stifled my gymnastics career. Well, right there we're into the adrenals, the autonomic nervous system, probably malabsorption because the kidneys were down. That would stiffen the bowel wall even more. Yeah, here we go. In 5th grade, my grandma's dog tripped me and I hit my occipital lobe and I received a concussion. I suffered from depression and feelings of anger. Ooh. So here we go. Now you might even tie this into a pituitary issue here, but we know we have a parathyroid. Here's depression, right? We know the adrenals are very much involved here. And this person was still a gymnast. That's pretty cool. But a lot of things. You know, I find it rare that a spiritual being doesn't have adrenal weakness. It just, the emotions. You know, the intellectual, Twitchell used to talk about that, how the intellectual had a hard time entering the gates of heaven because of the mind was so powerful, that the more emotional individual had an easier way of it. And if you think about it, you know, anger was the enlarged liver, of course. I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism at age 17. Are we surprised? Here's parathyroid depression. Well, here's parathyroid thyroid, so here we go. That would be a stretch, so that would be easy to understand. Now, could we be facing some pituitary here? I was on levothyroxine for over 15 years. I had a breast reduction at age 19. Interesting. So we could have some pituitary issues going here, growth hormones a little bit too much at first, or adrenals. I am whoa, here we go. I'm 5'1". No, we know hands down pituitary. So here we go. We got a pituitary case here that's shut down and a thyroid, parathyroid weakness. So we got those. Here's the adrenals. The pituitary can shut down all 4 of those, on top of those being weak of their own. So here we've got a lot of endocrine gland work to work on. Got to get the glands moving and working on the endocrine glands, absolutely. My whole family is pretty much the same in height and suffers from arthritis, scoliosis. There we go. Look at how all this fits. Isn't it fun to finally have the fingers fit in a perfect glove? The answers to everything. Here you go. The family of scoliosis, arthritis, of course, so they have high acidosis. They're leaching calcium out of the body. The scoliosis because the body can't put it back, so their spine is twisting. Absolutely. Slump hump, upper back, absolutely. All involved in parathyroid. Here's hypothyroidisms here. Thyroid issues, weight issues, absolutely. Here we got lymphatic issues, malabsorption issues. All fits. And the genetic line just keeps going down. Now, this individual has 5 kids. Now, she hasn't mentioned postpartum depression here, but I'm assuming there had to be some. So remember, Andrea Yates drowned 5 of her babies because she had extreme postpartum depression. They don't know how to fix postpartum depression. They still think it's a mental health issue. When we all know better, it's a parathyroid issue. My doc believed I had lupus at age 28 and 2 miscarriages. Aha! What caused her miscarriages? Aha! Confirmation of more pituitary, guys. Confirmation of more pituitary. She probably had irregular menses too. All of this goes with pituitary weaknesses. I opted out of the test because when I had asked him if he was going to cure me, he replied that he was going to treat the symptoms. What did I do with my water? I left it somewhere. Well, that already rang a bell in you already, so you're already a spiritual individual. I wasn't happy with his answer and had grown more and more discontented with similar responses related to me having miscarriages. But you have to understand, they don't know causes of things. They have not the awareness to map that out. No offense, but those lost in the academic mind are lost. And that's a problem. We revere that, do we really? We revere the academic mind. Be careful what you revere and what you ask for, because it could get you more lost in creation. And that is not where you really want to be if you want to be free, happy, joyful, and have a sense of godliness and know who you are and where you came from. I don't believe this is normal, as a couple of them stated. I don't believe this is normal. Well, probably not to have miscarriages. I have had 2 first trimester miscarriages after giving birth to 2 healthy girls, followed by 2 more after my 3rd healthy daughter was born 5 years later, prior to having 2 sons. Holy man, don't you know what creates these problems? These miscarriages in my journey in getting a master's in counseling made me start to question things. Good. Question everything, but then don't question anything. You know, you have 2 things. You want to use observation as your tool, not thought. And take everything back to the wall where you can't ask any more. Get into chemistry. Go all the way back to chemistry. You can't. I mean, how basic is acid, 2 sides of chemistry? How basic is the elements? How basic is the atoms that make up the elements? How basic is the subatomic particles, the electrons, protons, and neutrons circling around, the electrons circling around the nucleus with the protons, so you have the alkali circling around the acids. How you can go back into the nano levels and everybody's lost there. So you're back to the very basics of subatomic, atomic, into the elements, into the particles, or into the substances and forms and things like that, all the way up into big forms and stuff like that. Take it all the way back if you have to. And then the nature of each side of chemistry. What's the nature of acids? What do they do? What do they cause? What's the effect of acids? What's the effect of alkalis? You know, at each level of pH, there's a different effect. Can't say that we know all of that, but who cares? You can have fun with it after you wake up, but if you play with it before, you get more lost. So you use observation because you have to put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. You want to put it all together how it works. You don't have to know that the kidneys, you don't have to have the pathway in the body to the kidneys to know that the kidneys are the eliminative organs to that. It's kind of like the duct from the small bowel to the gallbladder that's not on current charts but exists in old charts. You know, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the too intellectual mind, things are hidden, things are not there. I mean, they're just discovering the lymphatic system in the brain, the University of West Virginia. So when you think they know it all, oh, what, we're finding new tissue? Really? So you have to step back a little bit and understand a little how sewage works. You know, each side of chemistry, the effect of that, how the body needs to get rid of this sewage. You can't just dump it back into the kitchen. No, simple things like that. Of course, it took me a few years to put it all together, too. I'm still pretty steeped in indoctrination of religion and education. Well, undo that. It's only you that can undo it. You know, and you can't undo the mind with the mind. You have to get out of the mind to undo these, because the mind is already conditioned, indoctrinated. You have the causal mind, which has as much storage as you could possibly want. So everything you've ever experienced is still in you, in the mind. As consciousness, that's what you want to wake up. Wake up means you become awake, conscious. That's not a thought-driven experience. It's not an emotional-driven experience. It is awareness, which has no beginning and no end. Pshoop! It is a high feeling and understanding and knowingness of the now, of the present. No duality exists in awareness. There isn't time tracks. There isn't the past. There isn't the future. Everything is new in every moment. I was diagnosed with Hoshimotos at age 36 before never going back to my doc again, as he placed in my chart that I failed to follow doctor's orders. When I had switched from levothyroxine to natural thyroid via my ND at the time, see, and that's what's disgusting. The medical doctor should have initially put you on armor, and the naturopath should have put you on a glandular and looked at the pituitary and first, because you're a perfect questionnaire. You're a perfect health questionnaire that lays out the problem right here. You're 5'1", you have miscarriages, you can go probably with irregular menses at times, you can go into pituitary, maybe enlarged breasts, you can go right into the pituitary for growth hormone problems, all types of things there, parathyroid for depression, scoliosis, and all of that. You can see all that going on, arthritis, all of that is all heavy lymphatic stagnation, acidosis. You're a good roadmap to helping a naturopath understand, but only if you're a naturopath that's awake, that has been taught. A naturopath are as closed-minded as his medical doctors. A lot of them, most of them actually. He has placed, the ND had me take UNDA while I saw her. At age 38, my thyroid test reviewed zero functioning above my 5th son being born. I do not see any docs and haven't for years. All right. I believe that my adrenals, kidneys, pituitary, transverse bowel, GI tract, etc. Yeah, now we got a lady that's getting it. Need to be totally regenerated. I'm on your side. I think now you're getting it. But you might want to add parathyroid in that, honey, and thyroid. And the transverse bowel is exactly right on. This is where all the stuff hits the brain, is transverse bowel, always. It gets prolapsed, spastic, pocketed, degenerative, what I call the toxic tunnels. Would the first kit be a good place to start? It always is for me. But I would like upper circ, brain and nerve. I would say after the first month of getting everything moving, I would put you on a pituitary and a parathyroid to boot together. And I would run you for a month, take off a month, and put you right back on that again. Depending on what I saw in your eye, how bad is the transverse, and do you have sleep problems like, well, not just sleep apnea, that's lymphatic, but insomnia or something like that. Because every time you see the pituitary, you generally always see the pineal gland as well. But you're right, you have to clean up the gut to clean up the brain. You can't just go up to the brain and say, I'm going to fix the brain. It doesn't work that way. I look at the body as stacked. And if you had this as many years as I have and seen as many people as I have through the years, you can see that as the tumors have been stacking. Now there's so many brain and throat tumors that used to didn't see that. They were all mid-body, mid-torso and below. But now, boy, Jesus criminy. I think a glandular is needed. I would too. I would use a herbal for the pituitary, just a little bitty thing. Pituitaries are not very big, believe it or not. But upper circulation, get blood moving aggressively up in these tissues as well. Go after the GI tract aggressively. What else is always do we go after? Kidney and adrenals, always, always, no exceptions. Because how did the pituitary come down? How did the bowels go down? How did the thyroid or parathyroids go down? It wasn't the blood that brought them down. It was the lymphatic system. Now, I say that. You can get some gnarly chemistry in the blood and definitely damage cells. No question about that, okay? But, as a rule, looking at how you get intracellular toxicity or acidosis, which is augmenting the function of the cell, you're talking about the lymphatic system. I'm currently trying to save funds for the 14-week protocol that will allow me to be able to order them via one of your specialists. I'm sorry for the length of my email, but I thank you for your time and any assistance you have offered me as I learned to heal myself and fulfill the purpose for me being here. I really want to be able to think clearly and raise my consciousness, and I like this, to raise above the current blockages. You know, thoughts are blockages. Emotions are blockages. Any obstruction to the flow of energy causes dis-ease. And you can say things that about consciousness. Any obstruction to the flow of consciousness. And a thought would be an obstruction to consciousness, awareness. We could look at it that way. Same thing with emotions, bad or good. Emotions are emotions. That's the astral body. So whether they're great emotions or sad emotions, still are emotions. I am on the 15th day of a raw food diet. Great. Now, pump it up and go to a 20-day grape diet. That'd be good. I'm eating mainly fruit. Yeah. But end up having an avocado and tomatoes. That sounds good. With a little Celtic salt in the PM. Ah, you crave salt, do you? I would say, what is the craving of salt, my dear ones? See, everybody's answered it right. Adrenal glands, adrenal glands. The craver of salt always has adrenal gland problems. How about if you crave sugars? Bungo problems. I have cravings. Bungus. I am struggling not to go down and get a salad and pita. It's the pita you really want, ain't it? Yeah, etc. Say, how about cheese? And I am taking a similar adrenal tincture, parasite tincture, smart, and heavy metal tincture. Okay, 2 years at this time by 3 times a day. I am also using up my vitality capsules, Dr. Jennifer Daniels, to stimulate my bowels. Yeah, I'd like to see what those are. Yeah, you don't want to stimulate bowels. You want to hug them and kiss them and enhance their function neurologically through the adrenals, get the lymph system moving through them so you can have absorption. You can make sure you have only Cascara sagrada in any bowel formula. No more any of the buckthorn or turkey rhubarb or aloes or anything like that. No. One movement daily and every other day. One movement daily to every other day with some small undigested food, major brain fog. All right, I would get our stomach and bowel, stomach renew. I guess we change it to GI renew. But I would do number 2 or number 3. And make sure you work that for a while. Get your adrenals up, you're getting your neurotransmitters up. That'll enhance the autonomic nervous system. Get the lymphatic system, get the kidneys to filter. That'll help to soften up the bowel wall a little bit. It'll help peristalsis a lot better. Also, go to the parathyroid. Get that calcium utilization up, and therefore nerve transmission will be better. I'm going in the sauna for 1 to 2 times daily to try to help with the detox. Smart, as I do not sweat naturally, thyroid. I am also drinking a lung bladder mugwort tea. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm the only one currently awake in my earthly family. Generally, that's the way it is. And it has been the separation from everyone under which painful life-changing circumstances. Well, that's a part about getting into the self, and part about spending time alone. Everyone needs to spend time alone and go, I love myself, not narcissistically accepting of the self, realizing that nowhere can you go to hide from yourself. You can't bring a husband, a wife, children, family, mommy, daddy, nobody around you. Those are other souls on their journeys as well. You're on your own journey, totally alone. But then, if there's only the one, isn't the one totally alone? I'd say so. So, who does that make you as the alone? Interesting. Never sell yourself short. Every one of you. Remember, every one of you come out of the one. You're beautiful. You're free. You're only using these bodies, you're only using your thoughts and your emotions to play on the stage of life. If you're tired of playing on the stage of life, wake up. I'm thankful for this. I seek to experience the joy, love, and connectedness with all. That's the ironic part of this. When you let go of everything, you become one of the all. Divine Creator in me continues to heal me while I'm on this planet, and then I'm ready to go. Private. Oh. Well, I don't know if you want me to read that or not. All right, so here's a look at her eyes. If this is a male, you have pretty feminine eyes. All right, so what do we see? We see a blue eye, right? All right, so what's all the green, yellow? That's subacute lymphatic stagnation. So very hard for me to see. Ah, inspector. Whoa. Whoa. Still hard for me to see, honey. These are not good enough for me to see worth a hoot hoot. Can't see a little bit of left lower rib cage, left breast areas, but hard for me to see. I'm going to suggest you have sulfur around the bowels. You have heavy, heavy subacute lymph stagnation around them. You're very malabsorbed. I can tell you that right now. Take a look at that heavy, heavy ring. I don't know if you can see it from there, but heavy, heavy yellow ring. That could be sulfur as well around that, or heavy subacute lymph stagnation around the gut wall. Major malabsorption there. Definitely pituitary, definitely chronic on the right side. Matter of fact, you're getting in some chronic lymph up in the sinus area. Also going back to the right cerebellum, my dear. You have some chronicness going on to the cerebellum. That could lead you to equilibrium, dizzy, vertigo things with that. Hard to see the left side cerebellum. Looks like some things, but hard to see there. Thyroid left side for sure, upper neck left side, bladder I think, I'm doing my best here with that, left hip, matter of fact maybe left ovary, right side bladder, could be tailbone but probably bladder, little kidney, definitely adrenals involved, groin involved, hip involved, right side, gallbladder involved, right side, right lower rib cage involved, skin, chronic skin involvement. That's just from these pictures from that sort of thing. Iris is fun, ain't it? That's why I like our iridology class. Fun, fun, fun. We've got our 3-day, your protocol class coming up, and then we have a 4-day iridology class coming up. I'm probably not going to teach them too many more years. I'm going to get them up online for you, but it's fun to have them in class. But I've been teaching these classes, 25 years now? That's a long time. Yeah. We still knock them out, don't we? Yeah. But we got our level 1 coming up online. I would like to get a protocol online and an iridology workshop online, But that's a lot of work, to get that done. And I am so steeped with protocols and iris analysis, I can't hardly keep up with them. All right, Kaya.
Ready, Adam? Okay, I'm ready.
Gone like a feather, gone in the wind, gone to the ocean to cleanse all my sins. 'Cause I got a free world just ahead, and I'm taking each step just a little different, and I will use my own medicine. My own medicine, Six my hours, where I'm gonna go. Said so many after 17 different roads, and each one a little different than the past. And I can't change my mind, can never go back in. What I do now will affect me. My friends, my family, my lovers, and my enemies. It's not only you, it's not only me. So separated from being one family. But we are all the same, all equally indeed, and that's so damn hard to see nowadays. Hold back the line and let your mind go. Circle up, oh you circle up, here we go. Gone like a feather, gone in the wind, gone to the ocean to cleanse all my sins. 'Cause I got a free world just ahead, and I'm taking each step just a little different, and I will use my own medicine. I will use my own medicine. And I'm 16, taking the world head on, taking opportunities and find yourself doing your music on your journey while you're making your own medicine. A little buffalo, so let it all go. Your family and I love you tons, don't you know? Vision God, here you're perfect just the way you are. Give love and see the good and know.
I cut my finger open again.
Ready, Adam? Okay, I'm ready.
Gone like a feather, gone in the wind, gone to the ocean to cleanse all my sins. 'Cause I got a free world just ahead, and I'm taking each step just a little different, and I will use my own medicine. My own medicine, Six my hours, which way I'm gonna go. Said so many after 17 different roads, and each one a little different than the past. And I can't change my mind, can never go back. What I do now will affect me. My friends, my family, my lovers, and my enemies. It's not only you, it's not only me. I'm so separated from being one family, but we are all the same, all equally neat, and that's so damn hard to see nowadays. Hold back the time and let your mind go. Circle up, oh you circle up, we go. Gone like a feather, gone in the wind, gone to the ocean to cleanse all my sins. 'Cause I got a free world just ahead, and I'm taking each step just a little different, and I will use my own medicine. I will use my own medicine. And I'm 16, taking the world head on, taking opportunities and on to the next one. That's what the bear said. I find yourself doing your music on your